What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, guys, I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible, and if the camera's shaking too much, I apologize, man. I'm trying to make my way home from downtown Washington, DC. But yesterday, Real to Real made a video. He was talking about car content creators. He was saying how he spent more money on, customizing the cars, and he's not seeing the money back from YouTube.
I feel like I've gained followers from the wrong type of content. You know what I'm saying? Like content that doesn't really make sense financial wise. Let's just say I go buy a $7,000 wheel. That video might make, let's say, $600 off that video. And then the next day I put them on the car. Let's say that video make $500. Two videos, I spent $7,000, but only made $1,100. Tell me what it makes sense at.
And he's right, man. I saw that a long time ago. With him and CJ are doing, I already knew I couldn't afford to do that. So I knew I had to find me a different lane, and I had to, set my channel up a different way, because I already knew I couldn't afford to keep up with, these YouTubers who's buying all these cars. Every other month they got a new car, or they buying, $10,000 rims, and they wrapping their cars and doing all that stuff. I already knew I couldn't keep up with that. I wasn't even trying to do that, because I already knew that's not something that I can sustain. I don't know how you sustain that type of content unless you already have money. So it's like, if you dependent on YouTube for money and you trying to do what Real and CJ and them doing, there's no way you can do it, because YouTube is not paying you enough money to be able to do that. And I learned that a long time ago, and I always said that you have to set your channel up a certain way, and you have to realize that from the beginning. It's almost like you have to predict the future when you start setting your channel up, because if you don't, you're going to end up finding yourself either running out of content, or you're going to end up doing the same content over and over and over again. And like I've said before, when COVID hit and everybody was in the house, a lot of the Mopar content channels was doing really well. Like, the content was blowing up, because first of all, a lot of people were in the house. People weren't spending money. So if you was going out buying a Hellcat or Scat Pack or any kind of Mopar, you was going to get a lot of views. It was like a false representation of success on YouTube, because in the long run, as you can see, a lot of people fell off because that's all they had to offer. So once you bought a Scat Pack, you wrap it, put rims on it, that was it. And now if you go on YouTube and you scroll, there's 100 million videos about that. And I peeped that. Sorry guys, I guess my car thought somebody was ready to pull in front of me, but they didn't. This car got a whole bunch of safety things on it. Once they did that, that was it. They didn't have any more content. And before you know it, you have so many YouTubers doing the same content over and over and over again. And the only people that were actually still moving up was people like CJ, who found a glitch and he started doing his raffles.
What's up with CJ?
What's up, my boy? My bad, guys.
You're good.
I had a run on you. What's up?
I watched that blog. He said it's the littest one I ever had. You looking nice, my baby. Oh, man. Into the raffle gang.
Which was very smart. There's a lot of people that hate CJ for doing that, but that's a smart move if you ask me. Build the cars, raffle them all. I don't see a problem with that. Some people say it's illegal. It's not my place to say whether or not the raffles are legal or illegal. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a YouTube attorney. So I can't say whether or not the raffles are legit or not. That's not my place to say that. All I know is my man getting rich doing it. And I don't care if they're illegal or not, because what difference do it make if it's illegal to me? Now, a lot of YouTubers fell off because they had nothing else to offer to their audience. And then we got to the era where people were doing the cutting up in traffic.
Oh, come on! Push through! Push through! push through, bitch! Come on! Oh my God, let go!
You know, people driving 100 miles an hour. You know, you got people running from the cops. You got all that stuff is starting to die down. So now, all the Mopar channels are going away, or they're unsustainable because YouTube not pushing that content like that. And like Real said, he go out and spend all this money, you know, customizing these cars and doing all this different stuff, and he not seeing the money back on YouTube views. People just not watching that stuff. And for what I'm seeing now, the new wave is buying a wrecked car and fixing it up. Now, whether or not you sell it or not, I mean, I think some people are buying like a wrecked Hellcat, a wrecked Trackhawk, Demon, fixing them up and selling them. That's what's getting all the views right now. But I really don't consider myself a car content creator. I do content surrounding cars, yes, but I'm not a car content creator. And I'm glad, because I didn't want to put myself in that box. I'm more so talking about everything that's dealing with cars, as far as financing, you know, customizing your car, just what's going on in the industry, just everyday lifestyle with a car. Who was this calling? I'm sorry, guys. I'm telling you, every time I start a video, somebody call me. That's why I had to buy me a separate camera, because when I use my phone, it's always ringing, bro. Anyway, like I was saying, I can't even remember why. I lost my train of thought now. But anyway, bottom line is this, guys. You have a lot of people blaming it on race. I don't believe that either, because there's a lot of black car content creators that get a lot of views. The bottom line is this: you have to be doing something unique and something that people want to see. DDE, Whistling Diesel, all those type of guys, they have very exciting content. They're doing stuff outside of the box. Just going to buy a Scat Pack, wrapping it, and, you know, going to different shops and stuff. I think that's cool, but that doesn't qualify for 1 million views. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's levels to this stuff. And I understand that. I understand that my content is kind of like, it's boxed in. Because again, I'm not doing anything outside of the box. And I'm okay with that. As things progress as far as me as a person and in my life, and I can kind of do more, because I can't rely strictly on YouTube money, then maybe I can expand my content a little more. And other content creators have to understand that. It's all about what you providing for your audience. You feel what I'm trying to say? DDE and Whistling Diesel, I mean, those guys, you know, they driving supercars. They traveling all over the world doing stuff. They linking up with other YouTubers. They're actually enjoying the cars that they do have. They not like building a car and then getting rid of it. I mean, they do that, but it's after a certain amount of time. And that's what people don't understand about this YouTube content, car creator stuff, is just because you buy a car and put it on YouTube don't make you a car content creator. You feel what I'm saying? You're just a guy on YouTube with a car. There's a difference. And I'm kind of the guy on YouTube with a car, because I don't use, my YouTube channel is not necessarily surrounded by me doing content on my 300. And I do all types of content now. And that's the only way to survive on this platform, is you have to evolve. You have to give people what they want to see. And I've made more money within the last 3 to 4 months on my channel than I made the whole 4 or 5 years I've been doing YouTube. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because you can go on YouTube and type in Chrysler or Dodge at any given time, and 1 million videos gonna pop up. But now that I'm doing reaction videos, I can kind of spread out and, you know, give my audience different type of videos and still stay within the car lane as far as financing, you know, repos, all that kind of stuff. Like, people like to see that stuff. So, but I ain't gonna make this, I've already been talking too long, guys. So, you know, my advice to anybody who want to get in this car content creation stuff, you have to be unique. You can't keep doing what everybody else is doing. Dodge is, they had their time. if you want one of these cars because you just want one, then that's fine. If you decide to put it on YouTube, cool. But it's not gonna blow you up. Now, SRT Lynn, that young boy came in and he did his thing and he used a Hellcat to do it, but it's the way he presented his content. But if you notice now, he's doing all different types of content. It may still be involved with cars, but he's using like different types of cars. He's actually making content with the car that he already has. He's not building a car and then selling it and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, he actually doing stuff with the car that he took the time to build. So it's just a lot, guys. It's a lot, man. People think you can just get on YouTube and you make all this money. That's not how it works. But this stuff takes a lot of time editing, a lot of time coming up with content, staying within the guidelines of what YouTube will allow. No, thumbnails, tags, like it's a whole laundry list of stuff that us YouTubers that actually make a little bit of money have to go by. And only 1% of YouTubers even get monetized. But people don't realize that just because a video is on YouTube, that don't mean it's monetized. Even if you see ads, doesn't mean it's monetized, because YouTube can put an ad on an unmonetized channel. And people don't even know that. Even though the channel is not monetized, they can still show ads on it. You agree to that when you sign up for YouTube, to do YouTube. So, I say all that to say this, man. I understand where Rail is coming from. I can understand how it's frustrating to do all that stuff. And I think Rail to Rail has really good content. I've been following CJ forever. But Rail to Rail actually has decent content. Like, he actually doing stuff within his videos. But I think if he were to, and this is just my advice, I'm not knocking what he do, the man doing what he doing. If he were to actually like do content with the cars he build, I think he'll be crushing it, personally. Like 300 he built, those Scat Pack, all that, bro. If he actually makes some content with those cars, you couldn't stop him. But I understand he trying to get his bread, I get it. People's attention span is very short. So in order for YouTubers to actually make a decent amount of money, they need people to watch at least 50% of the videos. And most of the time, people only watching 20 to 30% of the video. So they may be getting maybe one ad. And that's not gonna pay that much. Feel what I'm trying to say? So like Rail to Rail said, he go out and spend 10 grand on some wheels for a car. He make the video, he only make $100 off the video. Or $500. That still don't amount to what the money he spent. You know, so it's just like like I say, YouTube is evolving, the world is evolving, things are changing. What was going on in the past when people were getting rich quick off YouTube and making all this money, it's just not the same anymore. You got to look outside of just YouTube. You have to, you know, get some sponsorships and create some ebooks and all that stuff. If I could do it all over again, guys, I wouldn't even start a YouTube channel about cars. I would just start a channel just in general, just talking about generic stuff, just whatever I wanted to talk about, not cars, because cars fade out. You know what I'm saying? Cars fade out. Like right now, nobody cares about what's happening with this Chrysler 300. Nobody cares. So if I got this car so I can be a full-time YouTuber, I would be in the unemployment line right now, because this shit ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? This car is not making any money for